Jeff Bridges has been in somewhere around 100 movies, but since the 1998 cult hit The Big Lebowski, he's always and forever going to be the dude. Bridges doesn't even mind being thought of that way, and in a lot of ways, he's the dude in real life. Here's the untold truth of Jeff Bridges.
I'm the dude, so that's what you call me.
Like father, like son. It's no secret that the Bridges family is pretty much Hollywood royalty. Jeff's father, Lloyd Bridges, who passed away in 1998, was an icon of the silver screen, but it was his off-camera demeanor that most affected his son. Jeff told The Hollywood Reporter, "He loved all aspects of show business, knowing the crews, the traveling, the adventures you get involved in. He reveled in everything from the actual work to signing autographs and doing interviews."
I think the thing that I learned most about acting from him was just the joy in which he approached the thing. When you're joyous, it's contagious.
All in the family. Jeff's big brother, Beau Bridges, is also a Hollywood star, but the two of them started their showbiz careers in a much less glamorous fashion, staging improvised mock fight scenes in grocery store parking lots on the back of a flatbed truck. Jeff told NPR, "We would pull into a supermarket and we would stage this fake fight, and a crowd would gather around in the parking lot to watch these two guys go at each other, and then they'd try to break up our fight and we'd say, 'No, we're putting on a show.'" Serving his country. Bridges isn't just an actor, he's also a military veteran, having spent 7 years in the Coast Guard Reserves. He told AV Club that the back-breaking work was a far cry from Hollywood. "I was chipping paint when I was in the Coast Guard while on a buoy tender, and being stationed there for several weeks, we would start at the bow and chip paint, and then paint it. And by the time you're down at the stern, it's time to start all over again." Still, he values the fond memories of his time in the Coast Guard, and they value him right back. In 2011, he, brother Beau, and father Lloyd were all awarded the Lone Sailor Award in recognition of their service. The dude cometh. Being the son of a big star may have given him a head start in Hollywood, but Bridges wasn't always sure he wanted to take it. Even after snagging a Best Supporting Actor nomination in 1971 for The Last Picture Show, Bridges wasn't convinced acting was what he truly wanted to do. So in 1973, he accepted a role in The Iceman Cometh specifically because he didn't actually want to do it. He figured it would be a good test of whether he wanted to stay in acting professionally. He told The Telegraph, "For 8 weeks I was hanging out with all of these great old actors that I admired, and seeing how they dealt with their own anxieties, all of that led me to feel I could do this for the rest of my life." And to think, if things had gone the other way, we never would have gotten the dude.
I don't watch my movies on TV, except like if that comes on. I'll say, well, I'll just wait till Turturro licks the ball, and then I'll get hooked, man.
He lives in a whorehouse. The Michael Cimino Western Heaven's Gate has the dubious distinction of being one of the biggest box office failures in movie history, and a misery for cast, crew, and studio execs alike. Considering how zen Bridges is, though, it's no surprise to learn that he actually has fond memories of the shoot, saying on Facebook, "Michael Cimino was a splendid filmmaker. Getting to work with him was a great pleasure and honor, a real stroke of luck, a blessing." In fact, Bridges enjoyed the experience so much that when the film ended, he bought the set of the film's Hog Ranch whorehouse, moved it to his ranch in Montana, and still lives in it today. Photographer. Besides being a great actor, Bridges is also an artist and a photographer, winning an Infinity Award from the International Center of Photography in 2013. For years, Bridges has been taking a ton of candid, behind-the-scenes photos from the sets of his movies, and they're pretty amazing. According to Esquire, his hobby started while he was filming Starman in 1984 and has continued throughout his career. In 2006, he put out a book of his photos titled Pictures, with sales also raising money for a nonprofit that provides Hollywood industry workers with support post-retirement. The dude abides. Fans of The Big Lebowski should be psyched to know that when it comes to heavy stuff like politics, climate change, and religion, Bridges definitely has some opinions that would make the Dudeism proud. A devoted activist, Bridges has been a longtime supporter of the No Kid Hungry campaign. He's on the council of Everytown for Gun Safety, and as a supporter of the Plastic Pollution Coalition, he writes into his contract that no plastic containers will be used on the sets of his films. And, like the dude, Bridges is also into exploring the limits of the human mind. A devoted disciple of meditation and suppression therapy, Bridges designed a labyrinth for his yard and once volunteered to be a test subject in experiments with sensory deprivation. Bridges told GQ that the secret to resolving human conflict is developing and practicing empathy and celebrating our differences. It's the same fight that everyone has with everyone. Everyone. And basically, the fight is, you don't get it. None of us get each other. So you just have to be with that and have a relationship with it. And usually what happens, if you hang with it enough, your love has to get bigger to hold that misunderstanding, that mystery. Wise words indeed. Now, if only every argument could be ended by simply saying,
yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.